Hello and welcome to KTV2 talking about how to choose your college major. Every year I used to receive students and their parents to discuss the decision of choosing the college major. Usually I find a gap between the ambitions of the students and the desire or what their parents want. This gap actually comes from the fact of having traditional views towards this issue. When the student wants to decide which major he has to choose, actually he has to face, or usually he faces, some problems and some challenges here and there. What happens usually is that the student is programmed by the society, by the culture. The culture of the society plays a good role in this one. They start to form this understanding or perception in the student's mind. Lately, I have received a parent and his son. The student wants to go to the college and he decides to choose aviation. His father wants him to go to medicine. And of course, by the way, this is the traditional view towards the major college in the Arabic culture here. The traditional view to the college says that the son or the student, he needs to go to medicine, to go to engineering, and etc. They call them the top colleges here in our culture. What the parents and the students need to know that the world is changing, and this change needs or requires to be updated to what is happening or is going to happen in the future, especially when we talk about the fourth IR, which means the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution says that we need to look into the future. We need to have we have to be insightful enough to understand what are the majors, maybe the job opportunities, or what is the market, what is the need of the market in the future. The needs of the market in the future will go to the graduates who belong to the fourth industrial revolution, and that one is linked and concerned with the computer science and the related fields. What happens usually? The students, they need to decide. Parents, they try to help. And here comes the problem of going at loggerheads. What we need to understand before we choose the college major, is that the student has to do his homework very well. Maybe he needs to go to do some searches about what are the jobs that are required in the future, or maybe he needs to understand what is the requirement of the market now and what is going to be in the market later on. Students usually, they gain this knowledge from the around, from the society, the culture, the parents, and the peers. The other students who belong to the same level in the school he is. The high school here. So the high school students need to go and do the homework, do the search very well to understand what is the best major he needs to choose in his future for his career. Now I will talk with the students. Every student needs to choose his college major, has to follow some steps. Step number one, students, please identify your interests, values, passion, and abilities. Second, put the end in mind. The third, seek for the right college. Fourth, ask experts. And the fifth, change your way of thinking from traditional to the modern way of thinking. Let's start with step number one. Any student needs to go to the college, has to understand his interests very well. We have a list of interests actually that show the abilities of the students. Some students, they have creative interests, or they have scientific interests, practical interests, administrative interests, social interests, leadership interests, or technological interests. Once the student knows his interests very well, the way will be paved for him and ready to make his mind, to decide for the college major correctly. So going to the right college major means to understand the way of my thinking according to my interests. For example, if a student, his interests are technological, for sure he has to go to the area of computer science and the related fields. For example, programming is the top, it's number one that is required in the coming 10 to 20 years in the future. So those students who think they have technological interests and they care about that a lot and they have the abilities in this, so without hesitation, they can go to the major, to the college major, that is computer science, programming, applications, Internet of Things, and all these things that are required in the future. Another student, he has got creative interests. And of course, creative interests students, they need to go to the area of, let's say, designing, they go to marketing, they go to area of drawing, fine arts, music, and all these things. So he has to go to this area because this is the one that is required in the future. As we said, we have to put the end in mind. Another example is about practical students. Those students who have practical interests, they have to go, of course, practical people, as those people who like to work with the things, they like to go into the machines and the equipment and everything. So they have this kind of interest, so they need to go to engineering, mechanical engineering, and the related fields.